This evening, I want you to know that God turns hopeless situations around into hope-filled situations. நம்பிக்கையற்ற சூழ்நிலைகளை நம்பிக்கையான சூழ்நிலைகளாக கர்த்தர் திருப்புவார். அதை குறித்து தான் நம்மோடு கூட அவர் பேசுகிறார். அது எப்படி அவர் செய்வார் என்று அவர் நமக்கு போதிக்கிறார். ஆகையால் இந்த போதனை நிச்சயமாக உங்களுக்கு பிரயோஜனமுள்ள ஒரு போதனையாக இருக்கும் என்று நான் விசுவாசிக்கிறேன். சென்ற 2 வாரங்களாக பேதுருவின் வாழ்க்கையிலே நடந்த ஒரு சம்பவத்தை குறித்து நாம் தியானித்தோம். அதிகமாக இதை குறித்து நான் பேசினேன். ஏனென்றால் தனிப்பட்ட மனிதனுடைய ஜெபத்தை கர்த்தர் கேட்கிறார். சபையும் விடாமுயற்சியோடு தொடர்ந்து ஜெபிக்கும் ஜெபங்களையும் கர்த்தர் கேட்கிறார் என்று நாம் மறந்துவிடக்கூடாது. ஆனால் கர்த்தர் ஒரு காரியத்தை செய்ய தொடங்கும் வேளையிலே நடுவிலே நாம் விட்டு விடுகிறவர்களாக காணப்படக்கூடாது. Listen, when God begins to work, that's not the time for you to quit your prayer life. Because what you receive by faith must be sustained by faith. Never forget that principle. விசுவாசத்தினாலே பெற்றுக்கொள்ளும் காரியங்கள் விசுவாசத்தினாலே கடைசி வரைக்கும் நீங்கள் காத்துக்கொள்ள வேண்டும். The church prayed. What happened? We looked at Acts chapter 12. The angel of the Lord kept waiting for the right opportune time. It came. Herod rose up and took the glory that must have gone rightfully to God. What happened? The angel struck him. And the Bible says he died a miserable death. ஏரோது ராஜா ஏற்ற நேரத்திலே வாயை திறந்து ஒரு பேச்சை அவன் கொடுத்த உடனே மக்கள் அந்த பேச்சை கேட்டு இது தேவனுடைய சத்தம், மனிதனுடைய குரல் அல்ல என்று கர்த்தருக்கு போய் சேர வேண்டிய மகிமையை ஒரு மனிதனுக்கு கொடுத்தார்கள். அவனும் அதை ஏற்றுக்கொண்டான் என்று நாம் பார்க்கிறோம். So just because somebody praises you, you are not going to be struck by an angel. What you do at that point matters. Somebody says you are God. You better have to stop and ask him which God they are talking about. Because I have heard a lot of people calling Sachin Tendulkar God, Amitabh Bachchan God. They are worshipping them. I am not saying anything which is blasphemous because it's already blasphemed in the television every day. You just have to flip the channel, news channel. You're seeing people. Some are saying he's my God. Now the question is, do they say that they are God? Do they receive that honor which rightfully must go to God? That's why these gods sometimes fail on the cricket pitch badly. I'm not a cricket buff, but sometimes I feel sad for people when they fail miserably. It's not a very pleasant sign. You don't have to be a very big cricket fan to understand when the duck walks like that. Everybody knows the duck when it walks and quacks. Why? Because you're finding groups of people ascribing godly status to such people, ordinary human beings. Now they did the same thing in Acts chapter 12. To Herod. The angel of God was waiting because he was commissioned, assigned to finish a task. The moment the man received the praise, he struck him. The Bible says he died of worms. He was eaten and died of worms. What a terrible sight. What a terrible stench it must have been. That must have emanated from that man's body. It must have put every person who ascribed godly status to an ordinary man to shame. பாருங்க, அவன் தேவனுக்கு மகிமையை செலுத்தாதபடியினால் உடனே கர்த்தருடைய தூதன் அவனை அடித்தான். அவன் புழுத்து இறந்தான். எப்பொழுது? பழைய ஏற்பாட்டின் காலத்தில் அல்ல, சபையின் காலத்திலே, புதிய ஏற்பாட்டின் காலத்திலே. Now that's the good news, my friends. If this had happened only in the Old Testament, you and I have no real basis to pray for it in the New Testament. But this is something that happened in the church age. The church prayed. God heard. The angel of the Lord went. He did something. The same thing happens even today. That's the good news. Now this evening, let's proceed a little further on how to turn hopeless situations around. எப்படி நம்பிக்கையற்ற சூழ்நிலைகளை நம்பிக்கை உள்ள சூழ்நிலைகளாக நாம் மாற்றலாம் என்பதை குறித்து தொடர்ந்து நாம் ஒரு சில காரியங்களை பார்க்க போகிறோம். சார்ல்ஸ் ஜி ஃபினி என்று சொல்லும் ஒரு தேவனுடைய மனிதர் பல வருடங்களுக்கு முன்பாக அவர் வாழ்ந்தார். அவர் கர்த்தருடைய ஊழியத்தை செய்ய தொடங்கும் வேளையிலே அதற்கு முன்பதாக வக்கீலாக இருந்தார் என்று சரித்திரம் சொல்லுகிறது. அவர் ரட்சிக்கப்பட்ட பிறகு ஊழியக்காரராக மாறின பிறகு இதுவரைக்கும் இருந்த ஊழியக்காரர்களை விட, ஆதி அப்போஸ்தலருடைய காலத்தை விட்ட ஊழியக்காரர்களை விட அவருடைய ஊழியத்திலே மிக சிறந்த அற்புதங்களையும் அடையாளங்களையும் அவர் தன்னுடைய ஊழியத்திலே பார்த்தார் என்று சரித்திரம் சொல்லுகிறது. சார்ல்ஸ் டி ஃபினி had a phenomenal success far greater than most ministers of the gospel since the time of the early apostles. In fact, they say 70% of his converts remained saved till the very end of their times. The next person who had the highest success rate, they say, was D.L. Moody, 50%. Now, what made this man have this kind of phenomenal success? In fact, if you read about the life of Charles Finney, it's amazing. He was an advocate prior to him coming into the ministry. They say he would just come to a place. He didn't do anything. He just comes visiting. Suppose he went into a factory. He just enters the gate. The watchman will fall down on his knees and start crying out to God for forgiveness. People would just quit working and then fall down on the ground and start rolling on the ground, confessing their sins and asking God, save me. All he had to do in those days, entertainment, the biggest form of entertainment was the circus industry. Today there's no circus itself in most places. The highest form of entertainment was the circus industry next to the alcoholic business. He would enter a place, his meetings would be so packed out that the circus would be empty. Bars would be empty. Wine shop sellers ran bankrupt if Charles Finney came into town. Why? Not because he had a phenomenal group of people who were coming along with him, no. His prayer life was very unusual. That's what we're going to look at this evening. சார்ல்ஸ் டி ஃபினியுடைய ஜெப வாழ்க்கை வித்தியாசமான ஒரு ஜெப வாழ்க்கையாக இருந்தது. ஏனென்றால் அவர் தன்னுடைய இயற்கை ரீதியிலே வைத்த பின்னணியை வைத்து ஜெபத்தை தேவனுக்கு முன்பாக செய்தார் என்று நாம் பார்க்கிறோம். இயற்கை ரீதியில அவர் ஒரு வக்கீலாக இருந்தார். ரட்சிக்கப்பட்டு ஊழியத்துக்கு வந்த உடனே ஒரு வக்கீலை போல எப்படி வழக்காடி ஒரு காரியத்தை ஜெயிப்பாரோ அதே வண்ணமாக ஜெபத்திலையும் அவர் செய்ய தொடங்கினார். இது அவர் கண்டுபிடித்த ஒரு காரியம் அல்ல, வேத வசனத்திலே ஒரு காரியம் அங்கே எழுதப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. அதை வைத்து அவர் ஜெபித்தார். பல காரியங்களை அவர் தன்னுடைய வாழ்க்கையிலே சாதித்தார் என்று நாம் பார்க்கிறோம். Now, Charles G. Finney's prayer life was phenomenal. He believed that just like an advocate argues his case before God, in the natural, before a judge, and gets the judge to see his point of view, so also in the spirit realm, God has given us the word to come before him and to plead our case. I'm going to show you that verse, please. Come with me to Isaiah 43. ஏசாயா 43வது அதிகாரம் 25வது வசனமும் 26வது வசனமும் நாம் பார்க்க போகிறோம். Isaiah 43 verses 25 and 26 mark the foundation prayer life of this man called Charles G. Finney. வாசிப்போம். நானே உன் மீறுதல்களை என் நிமித்தமாகவே குலைத்து போடுகிறேன், உன் பாவங்களை நினையாமலும் இருப்பேன். நாம் ஒருவரோடு ஒருவர் வழக்காடும்படி எனக்கு நினைப்பூட்டு. Come, let us plead together. நீ நீதிமானாக விளங்கும்படி உன் காரியங்களை சொல். உன் காரியத்தை சொல். That you may be justified, produce your cause or your case. கர்த்தருக்கு நாம் அவருடைய வாக்குத்தத்தங்களை நினைப்பூட்டும் வேளையிலே அவர் நிச்சயமாகவே பதில் கொடுப்பார். ஏனென்றால் இந்த வசனத்தை பாருங்க. நீ நீதிமானாக விளங்கும்படி உன் காரியத்தை சொல். Another translation puts it like this. You may write it down if you like. Set forth your cause that you might be justified. Set forth your cause. Produce your cause. Build up a case. Why God has to do something for you. Is it scriptural? 100% it's scriptural. I'm going to show you. What made God not destroy Israel? The case that Moses produced. What was the case he produced? God, if you kill these fellows, what will the Egyptians say? What will the heathen say? They will say that you lack the capacity to take your people into the promised land, so you kill them in the wilderness. That's producing your case. How can they do that? How can they talk that against you? வேதத்திலே நீங்கள் பார்க்கும்பொழுது அநேக இடங்களிலே இவ்விதமான ஜபத்தை குறித்து தான் நீங்கள் பார்க்க முடியும். பரிந்து பேசும் ஜபம் என்று நாம் அழைக்கும் ஜபம் இப்பேற்பட்ட ஜபம் தான். The prayer of intercession that we call the prayer of intercession is more often this kind of a prayer, where you produce your cause before God and you see to it that in the production of the cause that you bring, or the producing of the cause that you bring, God moves to answer your prayer. பாருங்கள், நீ நீதிமானாக விளங்கும்படி உன் காரியத்தை நீங்கள் சொல்ல வேண்டும். Why do you require it? Can you justify the need for having the waters to split? Yes, Lord. Because we can't go back to Egypt. You better make a way for us through this place. We can't go back to Egypt. We don't have horses to return back. That means we don't have what it takes to go back into our past. Remember, God at one point forbade Israel to buy horses. Why? Because he said, I don't want them to be tempted to go back. Some of you are looking at me. Where is this found in the Bible? Well, you have a lot of homework to do. God said, don't buy horses. Why? Because these people will be tempted to go back. Follow very carefully. When we stand at the brink of a miracle, What do we say to God? God, it's your honor which is at stake. We read that beautiful verse this morning from Psalm 119. I think it was verse 116. What does the Living Bible say? Let it never be said, you failed me. Can I have an amen, please? Let it never be said, you failed me. You can write it down. சங்கீதம் 119 116 வசனம் என்று நான் நினைக்கிறேன். காலை ஆராதனையிலே அதை குறித்து நாம் தியானித்தோம். ஒருபோதும் நீர் என்னை கைவிட்டீர் என்று சொல்லாதபடிக்கு உம்முடைய வார்த்தை என் வாழ்க்கையிலே நிறைவேற்றும். Fulfill your word, O Lord, in my life, so that it should never be said, God failed this man. That's a good prayer to pray. Very good prayer to pray. Day in and day out you can pray that prayer. Don't put me to shame before the enemy. Let it never be said by the enemy, God failed the man. In fact, you will read about the psalmist. He says, oh enemy, don't laugh when I fall, because I'll get up again. I'll get up again. Don't think it's over with me. Don't think I'll fall down and lie in a fallen condition. No, my God will pick me up. He'll put me back on my feet. I may fall down 7 times, but the 7th time also I will rise. But if you fall, that's the end. Maybe I'm putting it in a colloquial form, layman's language, but that's what most of the Psalms are all about. Most of the Psalms are about, making it through thick and thin. Now, when you grab a hold of those verses and you're facing an impossible situation, it's good for you to use the word and remind God of what He said. இயற்கை ரீதியிலே நம்பிக்கையற்ற ஒரு சூழ்நிலையிலே அதற்கு முன்பாக நீங்கள் நின்று கொண்டிருக்கும் வேளையிலே கர்த்தருடைய வார்த்தையிலே நீங்கள் பார்க்கக்கூடிய வசனங்களை எடுத்து அவருக்கு நினைப்பூட்டுவது சரியான ஒரு காரியம். Remind Him. Why? Because when you remind Him and you produce your cause or your case, you are justified. நீங்கள் நீதிமான்கள் ஆகும்படிக்கு அதை நீங்கள் செய்ய வேண்டும் என்று கர்த்தர் தாமே சொல்லுகிறார். Charles Finney got a hold of this verse, my friends, and he lived it out in his life. It's amazing. Very, very amazing when you read about his life. There were so many other men of God. Men of God who were used so mightily of God because they were contemporaries of Charles G. Finney, and they grabbed a hold of this verse and they started praying the same way, started seeing phenomenal success. If I'm not mistaken, it was George Whitefield who would tell people to come down from the trees. People would come to listen to him. They would climb on trees and sit to listen to the preaching. He'll say, come down, come down. Because when the Spirit of God hits you, you will fall down from the tree. Come down. Grab a hold of this verse. This verse is not a fun verse. Remember, the devil wants to wear you down by saying it won't work. But you have to learn to wear him down by saying it will work. It will work. Because this is not a lie. This is God's word. This is His word which is at stake. His honor which is at stake. He is the one who said it. I didn't say it. When you start reminding God of His word, He takes joy in fulfilling that word in your life. பலமுறை நாம் ஏன் ஏற்ற பதில்களை பெற்றுக்கொள்ளாமல் இருக்கிறோம் என்றால், முதலாவது, நாம் சுவர் புறமாக நம்முடைய முகத்தை திருப்பாமல் தேவனையே பார்ப்பது கிடையாது. That's the first reason why we never see answers to prayer. I'm going to show you 2-3 reasons, but the first reason, we don't know what it is to turn our face to the wall and see only the face of God. Number 2, இரண்டாவது, நம்முடைய ஜெபங்கள் ஏற்ற ஊக்கத்தை இல்லாமல் இருக்கிறது. Our prayers are not intense enough. We ask God for something. He doesn't give it the next day. Immediately we say, I'm not going to pray again. The intensity to pray through is lacking. The Bible tells us in the book of Proverbs, if you give up too easily in the day of adversity, your strength is small. In the time of adversity, if you quit, your strength is small. You are not a man of strong character. You cannot be trusted. Why? Because in adversity, you are ready to give up. You are ready to walk away. You are ready to call it quits. You are ready to throw up your hand in disgust and say, this thing doesn't work. I want you to see something. In the book of Jeremiah. Come with me to the book of Jeremiah. Look at chapter 9, please. Jeremiah, 9வது அதிகாரம். And I want you to read verses 23 and 24. 23வது வசனமும் 24வது வசனத்தையும் நாம் வாசிக்க போகிறோம். ஞானி தன் ஞானத்தை குறித்து மேன்மை பாராட்ட வேண்டாம். பராக்கிரமன் தன் பராக்கிரமத்தை குறித்து மேன்மை பாராட்ட வேண்டாம். ஐஸ்வர்யவான் தன் ஐஸ்வர்யத்தை குறித்து மேன்மை பாராட்ட வேண்டாம். That means don't start bragging about the wrong thing. Everything in the natural is temporary. It is fallible. மேன்மை பாராட்டுகிறவன் பூமியிலே கிருபையும் நியாயத்தையும் நீதியையும் செய்கிற கர்த்தர் நான் என்று என்னை அறிந்து உணர்ந்திருக்கிறதை குறித்தே மேன்மை பாராட்ட கடவன் என்று கர்த்தர் சொல்லுகிறார். இவைகளின் மேல் பிரியமாய் இருக்கிறேன் என்று கர்த்தர் சொல்லுகிறார். Isn't it amazing what God is saying? Let a man glory in me. Not in his wealth, not in his strength, not in his wisdom, not in anything that he has in the natural. Because everything he has in the natural is time bound. Whereas I am eternal. I am eternal. When you start bragging about the God who is eternal, you will find that eternal things begin to operate in your life. Even prosperity is a steady prosperity. It doesn't come and go. It doesn't wax strong one day and wane the next day. But you look at somebody else who's putting their trust in wealth, they go through hard times. Someone else put their trust in wisdom, suddenly they find their wisdom fails them. They become discouraged. Ahithophel, the Bible tells us, was a man of great wisdom. When he spoke in David's court, it was like the oracle of God. But then he joined the wrong crowd. He joined Absalom. The Bible tells us his wisdom was defeated. His counsel was defeated. What did he do? He went home, set his house in order, and went and hanged himself. Is that the testimony of a very wise man? It's not a testimony of a wise man's end. But that's the end this man adopted. Why? Because he could not handle rejection. He was so wise, he knew a lot of things, but he couldn't handle rejection. தள்ளிவிட்ட ஒரு மனிதனாக அகித்தோப்பல் தன்னை பார்த்த உடனே, ஐயோ இனிமேல் என்னுடைய ஆலோசனை யாரும் கேட்க மாட்டார்கள் என்று நினைத்து அவன் தற்கொலை செய்து மரித்தான் என்று நாம் வேதாகமத்திலே வாசிக்கிறோம். ஆகையால் தான் இந்த வசனம் மிகவும் முக்கியமான வசனம். எந்த நேரத்திலும் நாம் யாரை குறித்து மேன்மை பாராட்டலாம், யாரை குறித்து மகிமை யாருக்கு நாம் செலுத்தலாம் என்றால், மேன்மை பாராட்டுகிறவன் பூமியிலே கிருபையும் நியாயத்தையும் நீதியையும் செய்கிற கர்த்தர் நான் என்று என்னை அறிந்து உணர்ந்திருக்கிறதை குறித்தே மேன்மை பாராட்ட கடவன். Know the God you serve and brag about the God you serve. The more you do it, the more you will begin to see hopeless situations turning around. We're going to look at that next week, please. There's some amazing things that God's going to teach us. But I want you to see something. God is interested in your well-being far more than you know. Don't quit. If you've been looking and saying to yourself, this is the last Sunday I'm going to church. This is the last week I'm going to be believing for this. Now I'm going to quit. My word to you is this: don't quit. I said don't quit. It's not over. Your tomorrow is far better than your today, because God is in the tomorrows also. Can I have an amen, please? Don't quit. Don't say, I've had enough of this faith talk. I've had enough of this believing. I'm now going to quit believing God. No, don't quit. இனிமேல் நான் விசுவாசிக்க மாட்டேன், இதான் கடைசி வாரம், இனிமேல் நான் கர்த்தரோடு செல்ல மாட்டேன் என்று தயவு செய்து தவறான ஒரு முடிவுக்கு வராதீர்கள். ஏனென்றால் தவறான முடிவுக்கு வருகிறவர்கள் தவறு செய்கிறார்கள். எதிர்காலம் பிரகாசம் உள்ள எதிர்காலம். வருகிற நாட்கள் பிரகாசம் நிறைந்த நாட்களாக இருக்கும். கனி கொடுக்கும் நாட்களாக இருக்கும். It's going to be fruit bearing days, the days ahead. Go for it. Remember, when you come before God, produce your cause. Plead your case. Much like an advocate does. If you say, I don't know, then find out how they do it. You see a lot of advocates walking with long pieces of paper. What's written in that? The case, but not just the case. Law and precedent. Has there been a similar case like this? What was the ruling? What was said then? Sometimes they'll go to 1800s. That's the most amazing thing. In 2006, they'll be quoting 1800 one judge in such and such a place, in such and such a manner, gave a ruling. And the best part is, nobody will say it happened in 1800, today is 2006, we are not going to listen. The honorable judge will give the particular precedent a proper hearing. That's the most amazing thing. Sometimes we don't realize what law is all about. Some judge in such and such a place gave this ruling, this happened, this is what took place. It's similar to this case. And in that ruling, this and this was said. Why? Because the honorable judge felt that this and this and this was the way in which it should be dealt with. So this judge will sit and go through that case. That's why they don't pass the verdict very fast. Of course, sometimes people question the reason why they keep postponing dates. But basically the idea is they give it a proper hearing. They go through that precedent. They find out whether it is so. They find out whether such and such a case has existed. Much of the ruling is based on that. They don't invent new things. Very rarely do they do it. Most of the cases is based on so and so versus so and so 1954. This and this was the judgment that was passed. So, most honorable judge, I am presenting the case of my client before you. He is innocent. Why? Because he did this and this. But they are saying he did this and this. But according to this and this, you have got to tell that he is innocent. Like I am saying he is innocent. And the judge sits and goes through the case. I am not wasting time this evening. I am telling you the real fact of how cases operate. It will help you in your prayer life. Because one thing you can be sure, this judge is for you. He is not for the devil. He will never support the devil. He is for you. He will sit and listen to your case. And the best part is he is not only judge, he is also your advocate. So the case is heavily loaded on your favor. The devil hates me for saying this, but the case is heavily loaded in your favor. Judge and advocate are the same. They are for you. They are saying whatever you say, we'll say amen to it. So whatever the opposition keeps screaming and shouting, no, 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 foul, foul, nothing is going to work there. That's why the Bible says, you produce your cause, you produce your case, that you may be justified. You may be righteous. நீங்கள் நீதிமான்கள் ஆகும் படிக்க வழக்காட வேண்டும். உங்கள் காரியத்தை நீங்கள் சொல்ல வேண்டும். But it's important for you to produce a case. Let's rise up to our feet this evening. We're going to close with prayer.